My name is Andrea, and the family name is Martorana Tusa. Don't get fooled by that, but and a few words about me, if the okay. So I am from Italy, and I am MVP for data platform. Currently working for Pandora. Hope that everybody knows Pandora. I hope that many of you are customers of Pandora. And my role is a BI front-end engineer. It means that I'm mostly dealing with the implementation of Power BI inside the company in terms of modeling, in terms of governance, security, and assessment. So I'm not doing that much development right now because we are mainly focused on defining a good setup, having a proper blueprint for our organization, and we are introducing and rolling out Power BI to more than 8,000 employees. It means, by the way, that we have premium capacity. So I'm doing a lot of experience in this area as well. Pandora, it's a Danish company, and I'm located in Denmark. So I'm talking to you from Copenhagen right now. I'm sitting in the office in Copenhagen. I've been a speaker in many community events during the years, mostly SQL Saturdays, but a bunch of community-driven events. And not only Europe, also worldwide. I was lucky to have the chance to speak at the last PASS summit before that PASS dead, and I'm really missing that. And when I have some spare time, I'm writing technical articles for SQL Server Central, SQL Shack, and the Italian user group. Okay, so the agenda for today is browsing through some features in Power BI for doing advanced analytics. And I usually start with, sorry, come on, it's not going as expected, the slide. Okay, sorry. So I usually start with this image that gives you, I think, a good overview of features and what we are going to talk. This is not made. Oh, what's wrong? Sorry, there's something wrong with my slides. I'm sorry for that. Okay, again, this is not coming from me. This is done by Lila Itati from radacad.com. So you have a reference for the image, and there is also an article if you want to browse through all advanced analytics and machine learning capabilities in Power BI. I think it's a good start. It gives you some insights, and it's kind of recap about all the features that we are going to talk about. Pay attention that some features are premium. So where you see a diamond, it means that this is a premium feature. And some other features are already available because this image is pretty out to date. So most of them are now released. So we are happy for that. But again, I think it's a good overview, and I like having it as a starting point. And they also made a difference based on the role. My background and my area, it's on business intelligence. So and I am a business intelligence developer. I've been for most of my working experience. So as you can see, most of the features are covered for business intelligence developers. So we are happy with that, and also for data scientists. But I'm mainly focused on the business intelligence stack. Okay, so we have a list of topics, a list of features. Let's start with some of them. And the first one I want to talk to you is the quick insights. What is quick insight? When you publish a report, Power BI automatically starts looking into your dataset, and Power BI looks for some of the insights listed here. So you can Power BI automatically can detect category outliers from your data, change point in time series, correlations, low variance, majority, trends in time series, seasonalities in time series, and if you have a plateau on a steady share for your set of data, and some outliers in time series. How does it work? Actually, it works out of the box, because when you publish a report, then you get from Power BI Desktop, then you get this message. I bet none of them have never watched on it. We always ignore it, but this is actually what how it works. So you get you can simply click on this and getting redirected to the quick insight page. We will have a demo on it. So, but you can also go directly from the dataset on Power BI service, get quick insights, and then you have some insights to take a look on it. In every page, you can see the reference to the official documentation for that from the Microsoft official documentation. So, and you can also have quick insights from dashboard tiles. If you click on the dots on dashboard tile, then you have the menu view insights that brings you to the same insights you have into the dataset. It's a kind of subset. I'm showing you, so I think it's better having a demo for that. It means that if you go here, then I have my report here. This is a demo report. These are fake data, just demo data. It's a report I use only for demo data. It's reporting the travel travel expenses for a set of companies inside the group, different companies inside a banking group. This is the example, and it's talking about travel expenses. So where you went, why, reason for traveling, and expenses such as flights, meals, hotel, and blah, blah, blah. When I publish this report, okay, let's have changes. When I publish this report, I'm publishing to my workspace. This is what happens. Yes, I already did this report, no problem. Just a disclaimer, this is my own virtual machine. I'm paying it by my pocket, so it's very slow because, of course, it's undersized. Okay, now you got report published, and you have this menu link, Get Quick Insights. If you click here, then you are redirected, but this is the wrong browser because I wanted to go into Mozilla, and it's exactly the same. If you do here into your dataset, click on the dots and get quick insight. You are redirected exactly into the same page. So you can either go through publishing the report or directly from the dataset. Please remember, it's inside the dataset. So select the dataset and then click on the dots and then give me insights. Insights are ready. So Power BI is doing some kind of, is applying some kind of algorithms to your dataset. I don't know exactly about algorithms. They are not public, but Power BI is doing some research on your set of data. And this is the output. So Power BI is giving you some insights, and it's out of the box. So why not using it? And of course, my data is demo data. So probably there is nothing so insightful. Anyway, you can have something to think about. So fulfillment or attach support. have noticeably from fabricant comments, and there are some other disease, for instance. So you have an outlier here, but this is made by purpose because I made it by purpose just for highlighting it. So you have in a time series, you have an outlier, and this is highlighted by the insights in the page. The company called the Bank of Andromeda accounts for the majority of expenses related to kilometers, for instance, and there is a linear correlation between sales and not specified country and so on and so forth. Okay, so as you can see, out of the box with just a couple of clicks, you can get everything you want. By the way, if you have any question, feel free to interrupt. Maybe if you want, you can also type questions into the chat and then we can review together. It's up to you. You are feel free to ask me anytime. As I said, we also have same insights into the dashboard. So if I open a dashboard and not into a dashboard, into tiles, single tiles for dashboard. So this is the dashboard. I have tiles, and if I click on the dots for any, not all the tiles actually, some of the tiles, for instance, this one, I don't think has, no, okay, this one has insights too, but not all the tiles can give you insights. So let's say I click on the dots for this tile, and then I say view insights, and it's giving me, it's exactly the same subset of insights you have seen before, but it's not related to this tile. So it's a small, it's a subset. It's not the full data set. It's a subset of the full data set because it's only the data related to this single tile. But it's exactly, and then you have exactly the same charts. And of course, you have exactly the same output. So it's the same, it's giving you the same advice as have you seen before. Okay. That was for the first topic. Quick insights. Ready out of the box, just go and use it and see if you can get any insightful info from your data set. Move on. Next one, it's analytic lines. So again, share PowerPoint. No, sorry. What's going on? I don't know. Okay, sorry. So analytic lines. Analytics pane in Power BI Desktop, and you can add some reference lines to your visual and provide focus for important trends of insights. Dynamic reference lines are a constant line, just add a fixed line with a fixed value, minimum line, maximum line. So you can, for instance, define a upper or lower threshold, and you can set up some warnings if you are hitting the lower or the upper cap, for instance. You can define, you can ask for an average line. Your data, it's up or below, above or below the average line, median line, percentile, and forecasting line. The analytic pane, it's in the visualization area of the Power BI desktop, but it's not available for every visual. For some visuals, you can find it. For some visuals, you can't. Of course, it depends on the type of data that you are analyzing. Let's again have a look on the analytics. Not now, come on. This is not intended for now. Analytic line. So I have some charts here. And as you can see, for some of the charts I already added an analytic line. So for some charts, especially time series, it's pretty straightforward having an analytics line. For some other charts, I mean, for pie, for donuts, you cannot have. Of course, it makes no sense. So depends on the chart or the type of visual you are selecting. Then you can have some analytics lines. If I click on the chart, then as you can see, I have the magnifier here. So I can click on it. And hopefully you can see, but maybe we can also zoom in. Let me start. Let me open Zoom Meet. Okay, let's start with Zoom Meet. So as you can see here, as I already added an average line, the visual is telling me, okay, you have one line added. Okay. And as you can see, I already added an average line based on a measure called expense amount, because I'm measuring expense amounts. So I know which expense is above and which one is below the average. Let's say I want to add a minimum line, so I want to, maybe it's better adding a maximum line. So I have a threshold. So for instance, okay, let's wait. Seems that it's not working, seems blocked. What's happening? My report is not responding. Sorry for that. Okay.
An error message.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Sorry. Okay, so let's add. Again, what's going on? Okay, let me close the report and open again. I think maybe it's some memory issue. Don't know. Sorry for that, but it happens because the machine, maybe it's under stress. Let's see. How much time do we have, Dan?
As much as you want.
Okay. This is a scaring answer for people for attendees.
We want to hear everything you want to say.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Enable. Move on. Okay, let's see if we can work on it. So then we said click on analytics and the maximum line. So I can have a visual evidence about the expenses that are above my threshold. And I want to set up a custom, where are you? No, it's a constant line. Where are you? Constant line. Add. And I have to say to type down the value. So as you can see, this is the constant line that I added. Let's say that my alert threshold is 8 millions because this is 10 millions. So let's say my alert threshold is 8 millions. All the expenses above 8 millions should be reviewed. Okay, so as you can see, now I have constant lines, I have max lines, and I have average lines. In this case, I have no forecasting because forecasting it's only for time series. So you need a date. You need the date into your horizontal axis, like this one. So for this visual, I have as a horizontal axis days, a date, a Power BI, a field that is a date format for Power BI, and I'm measuring expenses amount. So again, if I go to analytics, then as you can see, I have some other lines available. I can add a trend line telling me, okay, show me the trend. Is it positive? Is it negative? So let's see about the trend of my expenses. And as you can see, my expenses are growing over the time. And I can also add a forecast here. So I can add a forecasting line, color, let's make it a different color, okay, purple. And here I can say, okay, my last date is somewhere in 2019. Then I want to see a forecast for an amount of time, and as you can see, you can select among years, quarters, months, days, blah blah blah. Wouldn't make any sense for me having details in hours and minutes because my expenses are the granularity, it's only days. So let's say give me forecasting for the next, don't know, 3 months, for instance, and apply. And you can also set up the confidence interval. This is the gray shadow area around your line. So let's say, don't know, 80%, whatever you want. And this is the forecasting. So actually, it seems that your expenses are going to decrease in the next 3 months based on forecasting. Let's say I can also say for the 120 days, it's the same as saying 2 months, just for giving you the idea, because the horizontal axis is based on days. I'm grouping on based on years mainly, but if you drill down, you can go through months, days, quarters, months, days. So the granularity, the lowest level, it's days. So you can also ask for forecasting based on days, and if you want, you can also ask forecasting about 1 month, whatever you want, 1 year. And as you can see now, it's 2020. Okay. So when you have a time series, you can also add some other analytics lines, such as trend, such as forecasting, whatever you want. If you are calculating measures, then you can add this set of lines: minimum, maximum, average, median, and some percentile. Okay, hope that it makes sense. If there is any question, otherwise I can move forward to the next topic. Okay, let's go on. And let's talk about R. R and R-related visuals. So R is the most common language for statistics and data open source language for statistics and data analytics. And R comes with the native integration in Power BI since many years ago. Actually, I think it was 2016, 2017, but it's been embedded into Power BI for many years. And you can use R in different shapes. And I will show you a couple of utilization for R. So you can use R as a connector. You can use R step. You can add R steps in Power Query, and you can also have R visuals. If you are able to write some R, you can prepare your script, and then calling the R visual, then you can get an output directly from Power BI into your Power BI report from calling some R functions. It means that it gives you many additional features, because R it's quite powerful, and there is nothing you can't do in R. So it's very powerful. Of course, it needs some study. You have to learn for it, but then it's very powerful and gives you many more options available. And there are some custom visuals based on R. So if you don't pretend yourself to write some R, but you can use custom visuals from the marketplace that are developed based on R packages. So this is why I'm mentioning R, and this is why I'm mentioning R rather than Python, because Python is already integrated with Power BI. But this is my personal experience. I started working with R, and I kept working with R. You cannot learn everything, so you have to do some choices in your life, in your working life, and I'm stick with R. And reason is mainly that there are some many custom visuals developed that are based on R packages. I will tell you what you need to know for embedding R packages into your R packages, sorry, R visuals into your own report. So let's have a look on it. First of all, what you need to know: you need to have a local version of R in your local machine. So you have to download and install R. There are mainly two releases for R. One is the open source, the standard open source release, but there is also an open source Microsoft release. So this is also available. It means that when you go in Power BI, you have to set up your local R engine. So you have to download and install an R engine into your own machine. Then you go in Power BI options, telling R scripting, and you are telling, okay, use this version of R. And actually, I have more than one version of R, because as you can see, I have Microsoft R, and I have open source R, 2 releases for the open source R and one for Microsoft R. The reason I will show you later, because there are some packages that are not available in depending on the feature that you are using. Okay, then you need to install R. You need to set up R in Power BI, telling Power BI which engine of R using, and then here you have the native. This is native custom visual. Not custom. The native visual for R. If you just click on it, you have this window where you can put all the script, your R code. My advice is not start writing R code directly here, because it's quite tricky. Prepare your code outside into your R environment, R Studio, whatever you use, and then copy and paste here. For using the visual here, you need to pass the dataset and the fields, the data fields to your visual. And then I have my script here. This is a very, very simple and stupid script. Let's see. And if I click here, okay, because there is something missing. Maybe my code is not completed. Unexpected symbol in our code. Let's see if I copied everything. Okay, yes. Too many rows. Yeah, so our code, I don't need it. Wrong one. Okay, so this is my code. Just run the code, and this is a very, very simple linear regression. So I'm calling a function, an R function called plot, and I'm just calculating the relationship between number of visits versus number of expenses, and there is a linear regression relationship between these two values. So if you have some R code, you can copy and paste here, and then your script is ready. Again, as I mentioned, if you don't want to type down your code, you can call some visuals. So if you go here, and if you say get more visuals, import visual, get more visuals, you are going to the marketplace. I hope that you know it, where there are some custom visuals out of the box in Power BI. So this is the app source for all the visuals available in Power BI, all the visuals that are not directly prepared and created by Microsoft. And there is a category called Advanced Analytics. If you click here, then as you can see, you have some visuals. Many of them are related to forecasting. I think this is one of the most common areas for analytics. So you have some visuals, let's say, and there are some forecasting algorithms. ARIMA, some others. There are some examples here I put into the report. So let's say I want to know more about it. This is a description, and there is an important point I want to outline to you, because into the package description, then here are reported the dependencies, because for running this script, you need to install some R packages. Okay, for running this script, you need to install a package called Proto and a package called Zoo. If you haven't got these packages on your R installation, once you want to use the Visual Power BI, it's asking you, okay, but I need to install some packages. My advice is do not it directly from Power BI. It's slow and painful. So read the dependencies for the visuals that you want to import, and then install it beforehand. Go in your R installation, in your R environment, and install the packages you need. Just another review. Not all these packages are based on R, but most of them. So Outlier, where is it? Yeah, this one, for instance. Again, if you see dependencies, there are some R versions and package dependencies. Okay, so again, take note of the package dependencies, and then install packages beforehand in your R environment. Okay, once you have done, then you can use the packages. So this is why I also mentioned that I'm using R, because most of these visuals are based on R. Don't know if there is any visual based on Python, but many of them are based on R. And once you have your R package installed, then you can start using the package. These packages, these visuals are doing forecasting. They are based on different algorithms, so the output could be slightly different because they are based on different algorithms. But the concept is more or less the same for any of them. So if you select one of them, come on, then you can highlight the area, the visualization area. If you go on, yes, but why is not selecting? I don't know. Let's say, okay, this one I can select. So if you go on the features area, you have here your forecast settings. Again, you can set up the forecast length. So these are days, I guess, because the visual is based, the horizontal axis is based on dates, because you need, again, for forecasting, you need dates. You need something that Power BI knows this is a date. So you need the date, and then you can change the amount of days. So 30 days was 1 month, and if you change, then it's going to be 3 months of forecasting. I guess it will take some time because it's quite slow. Unfortunately, when you use R inside Power BI, it's very slow. But as you can see now, I have 3 months of prediction based on my time series, and I have the forecast for 3 months, and I also have some other settings. I can do, to be honest, I don't know settings for all of these visuals. It depends on the visual, but you can set up, don't know, some features, and then you can have a forecast, and the forecast is giving you a value. So for a date in March 2020, the forecast expense amount, it's a value. And as you can see, you will have a value for some for all the dates into your forecast. Okay, another interesting visual is the outliers detection. And again, it's a custom visual coming from the app source, and it's this one Power BI visuals outlier the detection. So you have to import the visual. It is based on some Power BI packages. I don't recall the name of a Power BI, the Power BI package. But again, you can, once you add the visual to your page, then you have to, sorry, what's going on? It shut down suddenly. I don't know why. Sorry for that. Yeah, file recovered. Don't know what happened. Sorry for that. Seems that my machine is pretty unstable, but again, it's a demo environment, and I'm paying for it. So I'm trying to lower the expenses. Okay, we were here on the outliers. It's a custom visual. You have to drag the visual to the, yeah, okay. It's I'm not doing it anymore. It seems that it's killing my reports. Sorry for that. You got the point, I think. If there is any question, I will be more than happy to answer. Otherwise, I'm going forward. And I'm telling you about machine learning. Next topic, it's machine learning. How to use Azure machine learning models directly inside Power BI. So how it works, you build up a model, an experiment in Azure Machine Learning Studio, and then you call the Machine Learning Studio model from directly from Power BI. You need a API key for doing it, and then you can invoke, and then so you can pass some data from your Power BI desktop file to Machine Learning Studio, that is a cloud service, getting back some data as an output, using that data directly into your Power BI report. I will show you. Yes, so let me show you how it works. So this is again. Let's open a new one. Let's open this file. Okay, so what I have here is from Machine Learning Studio. This is Machine Learning Studio online. In Machine Learning Studio, what I have is a so-called experiment. So you build up a model in Machine Learning Studio. Go on. Usually it's not so slow. Sorry for that. Not now. Usually it works. So what I have here is a so-called experiment. So you create, and this is based on standard Microsoft documentation. So if you want to replicate, you can do it. If you want to have all the references, please reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to share with you. So what you do is that you pass some data, you create a model for doing some calculations, and this experiment is based on credit risk scoring. It means that you as a customer are categorized into different clusters. Are you working? Are you owning? Are you holding a house? Are you holding a car? Whatever you need. So based on some assessment, then you are clustered, and a credit score risk is calculated based on the input we got. So this is the idea. Pass some data as an input, and then there are some R scripts and R algorithms for doing the assessment. The model is trained, and some output is released. The output of this experiment is a web service. So the final output for the web service is for the experiment is a web service. So in Machine Learning Studio, you prepare a web service, and if you go over the settings somewhere, you have a kind of API. You need an API key, and you need some other info from your account, a token, kind of authorization token, kind of keys that you have to use into Power BI. So this is how it works. You have your experiment in Machine Learning Studio. This is a cloud service, of course. The output is a web service. Then, if you go in Power BI, here, you are calling some data, and this is a data set. Yes, I know. I'm showing you why it's failing. So this is the data set where you have clusters. Every column is a cluster based on some settings, some categories. Credit history, the credit amount, the existence of savings into your account, if you are employed, if you have any installment, personal status, sex, blah, blah, blah. There are some settings, some categories. Based on the categories, you are clustered. So, and then the output, all this data is passed through the web service to the model, to the web service, and then the output is a scoring for your risk of credit. What we are doing here, as you can see, there is a step here, because into your, as I mentioned before, into your Power BI Power Query, you can invoke an R script. And this is exactly what we are doing here. So we are calling R, and we are calling an R script for invoking the web service. The problem, but I have a problem here, as you can see, but I'm making it by purpose, because it's telling me that there is no package called Azure ML. Azure Machine Learning, because I'm calling a package called Azure Machine Learning. The problem is that I'm using, right now, I'm using the standard R open source project. And this standard R doesn't have this package called Azure Machine Learning. It means that I have to switch to the different R existing, and I have to use the Microsoft R installation. In this Microsoft R, there is the package that I need. So what I need is to change the R package here, and I'm afraid that I have to restart Power BI because it needs restarting. So I have to restart Power BI. And once I restart Power BI, then it's calling the different R version that I have on my local machine, and then the package is supported. Hope that this is clear. But this is why I wanted to show to you the error, because you must be aware that some packages can or cannot be supported depending on the version of the R release you are using. So if I go here, options and settings, options R. Okay, now I'm using the right R script, and let's see if I'm lucky. Okay, now it seems that is running, and what I want to show you is this step. So we have this step, run R script, and this is what it's doing. This is an R code. This is calling the web service, and the web service, this is the name of the web service, and these are some tokens that I'm passing based, of course, on my subscription. So these are some tokens that I'm passing, and I'm calling this package called Azure ML. I want to be totally transparent. I did this script I found out into the Microsoft documentation, so this is nothing special, and I didn't create it. It's reported into the bibliography, let's say, so you can easily find out it. But because for me the most important point here is to outline that we are calling an R script directly into as a Power BI step, and this script is invoking an external, a cloud web service for doing it. And then you have some output, and this is the output. So somewhere you have a credit risk score. You have something called score. This is the output. So this is the scoring risk for every customer based on all the classifications we made for our customer. One point, as you can see here in the menu for Power BI Desktop, there is already a button for calling Azure Machine Learning. So let's say you don't need to run to call the R script and to do this complicated thing, but unfortunately it's partially true because this Azure Machine Learning it's based on a premium subscription. So you need to have a premium subscription for using this one. If you don't, then this is the workaround. Let's call it workaround. You have to run through this R script and calling a web service directly from R. Okay, that was all for the R machine learning and integration between R and machine learning. I hope that that was clear. Then I needed to switch to the next topic, but before that I'm changing to the open source R because now I need the open source R again. Any questions for this topic? I know that it's not a light topic, let's say. I know that it's quite complex, but I hope that you at least can add a flavor, can get an idea of what you can do, and the integration and the potential that you can unlock using R into your reports. Okay, next topic, it's another online service called cognitive services. In this case, you can use an API called Text Analytics API, cloud-based service that gives you four main functions: sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, language detection, and entity recognition. So this is coming from Azure Cognitive Services, a collection of machine learnings and artificial intelligence algorithms in the cloud. This is an Azure service. How does it work? Again, you have your Power BI, you have some data sources. In our example, it's an Excel sheet. And then you import the data into Power BI. From Power BI, you call functions. You call you define some functions. You call an API in cognitive services, and as an output you get some results. It depends depending on the function you are calling. First point is to create a resource in Azure. So if you go here in Azure, yeah, this one. If you go here in Azure, in cognitive, you have a cognitive services in Azure. You have to go into your Azure subscription. So you have a service called cognitive services. And as you can see, I already have a feature called text analytics. You can add from here some services, depends on what you need. I need this API. By the way, pay attention that you are paying for it. There are some I want to show it to you. No, okay. Select, okay. Let's see. Yeah, there are some, you have to define the subscription, but there are some, I'm not going to do it. Let's see if I can show you into the slides, because you are paying, you have to pay for it. So if you go here, there are some tiers, and the standard one, it's for free, and you have 5,000 transactions for a month. So if you want to test it, I think you are fine. You can do it, and I'm not paying for using it, because I'm using it only for demo purposes. We do have services, but of course they are based on our company's subscription. So my own subscription, it's just for free, but of course then I have some I'm only limited to 5,000 calls. As you can see here, I have 5,000 calls per month, but I'm never consumed this amount. What else? I need an endpoint. So this is an endpoint that I need. I need some keys, some tokens. I'm not showing you because these are private. But what you need is an endpoint and basically a key for calling the API. Then what you do is going in Power BI. And calling the functions directly from your Power BI report. So we have this report, and in this report, we are analyzing some customer feedbacks. These are demo data. I'm not showing you nothing private. So we have, yeah, but I think I'm showing you the wrong one, sorry. This one. Okay, sorry for the waiting. Come on. Okay, cognitive services. Then go. Transform data. Yeah, enable. Transform data. So in my data source, I have a table called fabricant comments. These are comments, customer feedback. So these are comments based on product delivery, whatever. So this is what I get from my customers. Wrong items, fantastic, blah blah blah. Some feedback based on some demo data. What we are doing here is creating functions, Power BI functions, one for each available API in cognitive services. We are using 3 APIs, one for extracting key phrases, so the most important words into my feedback. How it works? Again, this is something that I get directly from Microsoft documentation, so no need for reinventing the wheel. What do I need is to paste my own key for my own subscription, the endpoint that I have shown you before, and telling the function. In this case, we are calling a function called key phrases. The same works for the sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is giving me the sentiment of the phrase. Is it a positive comment? Is it a negative comment? Is it halfway? And so on. And the language detection, this actually, we have only comments for English into the example, so it's not so meaningful, but you can have language detection if you are collecting feedbacks from different countries worldwide, like actually we are doing, because we are a company that is selling worldwide. Okay, so I have functions, and what I'm doing here, I'm applying functions to columns. So the output is a new column called key phrases. The function I'm calling it's the key phrases, and it is applied to a column called merged. Okay, so the column called merged, we are applying functions, custom functions. Sentiment analysis to the comments column, and the language detection. Okay, hope this is the setup is clear. If it's not, please ask. And this is the output. This is the output from the key phrase detection. Is extracting some words from the context of the phrase. It's scoring the comment, positive, negative, all the rates between the two extremes, and the language detection. In this case, the output, it's of course English for all the comments. How can I use it? If I go here, for instance, I can download the custom visual, the word cloud custom visual. So I can say for this one, show me the word cloud, which it's quite common nowadays, having a word cloud showing you most of the common used words. Wrong is one of the most wrong, and problems are one of the most common used words. So I would focus on that. So if you download the word cloud and then you pass the output from your APIs directly to the as a value, this is the output, and this is the output using the sentiment analysis. It's just a simple chart where you can see for every customer the output. The higher the output, the more positive is the feedback, and the other way around. And this is again this is done by calling a cloud service through an API invoked directly by Power BI Desktop. I think this is clear, and I think the setup is clear. Okay, so I think presentation is done. Let me go again through the features. We didn't see all the features, but we saw the most important features, I guess. So quick recap. We discussed about having come on, R and Python, not Python actually, but R visuals into our report. No, we didn't discuss about Q&A. We discussed about quick insights. We discussed about custom visuals with R, importing custom visuals, the packages we needed, and blah, blah, blah. We discussed about cognitive services in Power Query and using M, of course. We discussed about machine learning, free in Power Query. We also discussed about R Python because I showed you a script, a step. You can add the step into the sequence of transformation of your data transformation into Power Query. And you can also call machine learning directly from Power Query, as I showed you. Text analytics, now it's ready because it's the API we used. And these one are more or less the same features, but they are way simpler because they are related to the premium capacity, premium subscription. Once you have a premium subscription, you have kind of out of the box ready for use without doing this tricky stuff in settings and definitions and preparing stuff in Power Query.